Hello, video on demand people. I got this really cool thing. I don't know if I can show it to you folks. This isn't it. This is just a thing. I should probably take these home, actually. They're kind of useless. Yeah, I could probably show it off. Look at this. Look at this fucking thing. Look at that. It's really cool. It's suspended in like Perspex or whatever, resin, solid clear resin, and there's a power cable and there's a light in here. And I got a couple of these. This is a fantasy one. It looks really neat. They look really cool. I just got it on Etsy. You can just search for it. It is very cool, Fanvola. Welcome to the show. We're just going to hang out for about 90 minutes here in the middle of my day. Maybe get some folks in here who don't normally get to hang out because of the times of day I stream and where in the world they live. Excuse me. Oh, that's neat. Rihanna Atreides. Yeah. I've got another one over here. It's not plugged into anything. Actually, I could plug it in. I don't know where it's going to live when it lives where it belongs. Probably somewhere cool. What's up, Helena Real? Yeah, see? Haven't seen Helena Real in a while, probably because of when I've been streaming. 4.5 hours. It should be 3.5 hours, depending on what you're on the east coast of, Big Tilly. If you're on like Newfoundland, it may be. So, yeah. Oh, man, this is so cool. I think this is the bottom. Yeah. And so actually it's on, there we go. There we go. That's the side you want. That's weird. Oh, it changes color. Fuck off. My other one's not changing color. I should change the color. I bet there's a button I push. So these two little, you see these two little divers, and there's a wrecked ship over here. Actually, maybe that's the bottom. I don't know where the bottom is. I don't know where maybe this is the bottom. No, that doesn't make sense. That means the ship is, well, if the ship, yeah, the ship is wrecked on the bottom. So yeah, look at that. There's a couple divers are going down. There's some sea tortoises. They're really cool. I mean, it needs to be in focus. And they're on Etsy, and don't ask me for a link. You have the same fucking Google I do. But as somebody who just likes having lots of cool little RGB LED things, I hope you enjoy it. Comment Tater, clever name. Oh, look at that. I got it right. Newfoundland. Look at that. Well, but also you're, I guess, an hour out because the east coast of the U.S. is only a 3-hour difference. Based on my according to my certain knowledge. I've been 3D printing Relg for the last 2 days. Did we put up the STL file for Relg? We must have. I'm super curious. It's one of those things where I think different people have different printers, and depending on the printer you have, you have to. It takes different technique. I don't know. I'm not an expert on 3D printing. Gherkin Gandalf in Austria, it's getting really late. Well, yeah. I mean, you're another 6 hours, 7 hours ahead of that. So like 10. So it's like midnight 34. I don't know. It's late. Go to bed. Oh yeah, Atlantic time. That's interesting. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. It's 9 a.m. What a great time. What awesome. 9 a.m. in Kiwi land. That makes sense. And it will make more sense when we've talked more about why I'm streaming, which isn't going to happen for a while. So, those of you who weren't around for my stream was it Saturday? I think it must have been Saturday. Rise, Heroes, Rise. Welcome aboard. I hope things are going well for you. Yeah, we talked. What did we talk about on Saturday for those of you who weren't here? It's 18:30, which is 6:30 p.m. in Brazil. That's not bad. That's a reasonable hour of the day. Those of you who don't know, we got together last week in person, and we played Draw Steel. Yeah, Bom Dia. We played Draw Steel for 3 days in a row, 6 hours a day, 3 hours on, take a break for lunch, 3 hours on. And I was completely wrecked at the end of that. It was really disruptive to my sleep schedule. And that was even worse because Friday, which was sort of, we weren't recording on Friday, but we all got together on Friday. I thought, that's fine. I can catch up all my sleep on Friday. Ooh, in about an hour. That sounds great. Rise, Heroes, Rise. Yeah, it was awesome. We had so much fucking fun. We had so much fun. What I should have done, I would have enjoyed it more. I don't know. Yeah, no, you absolutely can't tell this. I think on the second day, I could not stop yawning. It was really distracting. And what I should have done was I should have used like a sleep aid or something to kind of induce restful sleep. And I would have been happier. So that's a lesson for the future if we ever do something like that again. But then Friday night, I thought that's fine. I'll just catch up. I'll sleep in. It'll probably, I'll probably fall asleep really late tonight, just like I did last night, the night before. But I don't have to worry about getting up in the morning, so I can just sleep in. And that would have worked great, except at 4 a.m, about an hour after I fell asleep, my power went out and that woke me up. And then I couldn't get back to sleep. And then I found out that the power was not going to come back on until noon. So, fuck, that was rough. But now I feel like a human being again. And it was, the shit that we got up to in those battles was really, really epic. I cannot wait. Jerry's going to spend the next couple of months, literally, editing 18 hours times 5 cameras in 4K footage, which is several terabytes worth of information. Tan the Man, I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Did my food in the freezer survive? Do I have food in the freezer? What are we talking about? Yeah, Skepticon. I mean, it's Jerry pointed out, and it's a totally legitimate thing. It might not work. It might be that he starts editing it together and we look at it and we're not happy with the audio, or because we didn't do any tests. We tested a lot, but it's like testing. None of those tests were actually sitting down for 18 hours and playing. So it may be that we watch it back and we're like, this is pretty unwatchable for any number of reasons. We're going to treat this recording like a product. And if it's really junky and bad, we're not going to put it out. And so that sort of sets a minimum floor that we have a bar of quality we have to reach. But I don't know any reason why that should happen. Is this a stream for views or to teach us something? Well, what are you looking to be taught? Robert Tables. Yeah. Yep. Little Bobby Tables, as we call him. I felt the same way. Wild Antic. Yeah, maybe that's, there's always if it doesn't work, maybe we give it to the patrons. Is Andor 2 already out? That's interesting. What is up? Jackamon Kent? That sounds about right. Will it teach you how to make a pizza? No. The provenance of what we did last week is we normally just get together once every 3 months in person. The dev team get together in person because we're all over the country. We have an office in Orange County, and there's usually 4 people in the office 5 days a week. But everybody else is remote, and some of those people are remote in Orange County. Some of those people are remote in Southern California, and some of them are in New Jersey and Washington. So we make it a point every 3 months to get everybody together in the office, at least the design team in the office. And during development, that was critical because we played the game. I mean, we played the game all the time, but there's a big difference between playing in Alba Rodeo and playing in person. And what happens when you're playing in person, it's not just when we were playing in person. We were here at the office together for an entire week for no reason other than to do things like test the game. Right. So, we would do stuff like we would have an idea. We would test it. We would actually run it. We would have a week where all of us all ran. I got behind the screen. Jordy got behind the screen. Willie got behind the screen. James runs all the time, so that's not as critical. But yeah, and you notice things and you learn things when you're rotating directors like that in a really short span of time. Well, that's all over. The draw steel is developed, but it is in layout and it's in layout. So this is the time for me. We're really proud of the fact that we hit all our deadlines. That's amazing. That's extraordinary. And so from where I'm sitting now, it looks like this game is going to come out about when we said it would, which is incredibly rare for a crowdfunded project at all, much less a AAA, flagship RPG that was built from the ground up. So, but the flip side of that is now the next 2 months, 2.5 months is when all the problems that would delay things happen. Right? Problems like, this port closed. These people can't get paper. There's like literally like 12 completely different companies that all have to work together and who all have to, the handoffs all happen at the right time in order to get people their products on time. So from one point of view, yay, it's awesome. From another point of view, well, it's sort of out of our hands now. If things go wrong and the date slips, there isn't really anything we can do about it other than just, go, okay, well, and wait and hope. We don't own these companies. So we were like, well, what are we going to do this time we get together? We're all going to get together. We all agreed that it is valuable to get everybody in the office together, whether we're going to run Draw Steel or not. We got lots of stuff to talk about, by the way. And we had lots of meetings last week that were not related to actually playing the game. But we were looking for some genius loci, something that we could, a thing that would justify us getting together. And we were like, well, why don't we just, what if we played the game and recorded it for the YouTubes? Yeah, that'd be fun. We all got excited about that. Well, who are the players going to be? We're like, well, it's the design team that's going to be out there. So that should probably be a design team. That's me, Willie, Jordy, and James. And then I lobbied, for those of you who are here on Saturday, just hearing all the same stuff again. I lobbied very strongly that it should include Jason, our art director, if you want to, because Jason is not new to tabletop. No. He's been playing tabletop games his whole life, but coming from video games, he had never played or even looked at an RPG book ever. And because he worked here, he started running D&D, started running it for his kids. He really liked it. But he found the rules of 5th edition very weird and junky. And he would ask me questions like, when does it explain to me how this game works? And I would be like, I don't know how to answer that, man. I don't know how to answer that. And when he would look at like 4th edition, which we would look at as for ref, we would look at different games looking at layout, specifically like art and stuff, layout. And he would be like, wow, how did 4th edition, this seems like 4th edition is a game from the future compared to all this other junk, including 5e. And I was like, yep. And so, you're going to see the result of Jason's attitudes toward that is our book does not look like a manual from the world. It doesn't look like you're reading an illuminated manuscript from the world of Draw Steel. It looks like a rule book. It looks like a very pretty rule book because that's what it needs to be. It's ultimately it is a reference manual. The purpose of the rule books is when you're like, where is this rule? Flip. Oh, here, I got it. That's what it's for. And anything you do to obfuscate that, I think lowers the utility value. So Jason is a great player. He's been in my games like twice. And both times he is a natural role player, not in terms of like doing a voice and all that kind of stuff. I think, as you know, I'm on record as saying, I think that stuff is pretty gimmicky. I mean, having fun, getting into his character and discovering synergies and coming up with ideas with other players about their character's backstory and stuff like that. And yeah, he does do the voice and does get into character. It's a lot of fun. He's a natural. And so it turned out he was down. I'm like, well, he's like, we're not crunching on the art anymore. So yeah, I can be around for a week. That'd be great. And he had a blast. He had so much fun. And I was so happy watching him have real fun playing and really getting into the game because, it's very easy to make a game that like me and James and even Jordy and Willie really like, but that Jason doesn't. That's fine. He's the art director. He's not the game designer, but it's nice. It's really nice that he really likes our game. And then I said, somebody was probably Gertz mentioned, this means we're going to have to punt on the monthly Q&A that Dale hosts for our patrons. And I was like, well, why don't we use that time? And so we flew Dale. I'm not going to tell the whole story. We flew Dale out here. And so she was the 5th player. It's Mark. Hey, Mark. We man, every time Matt O'Driscoll and I talk about, the fact that we both want to run Draw Steel, we both talk about, playing in your Star Wars game and how much fun we had. It was a blast. So we got together and played, and